April the 4th, 2025. Guys, this tornado breakout coming out of Texas and Oklahoma is continuing just like we've seen for the last few days. You got flash flood warnings, which we've been talking about. They're having flood rescues up along this area coming out of Tennessee, going into Kentucky. And right here, we've got 7 tornado warnings right now. Let's zoom in just a little bit closer to Texas. Now, let's look at the Fort Smith, Arkansas radar for a moment. That's going to put us back over into, here's Texarkana, here's Magna, McAllister right here, Coffeyville, Joplin, Missouri, Bradson, Fayetteville, Arkansas. These are flood watches. You can see right here in the green, flash flood watches. These are the tip of the tops of the tornadoes again. Right here, Texarkana. Here is McAllister, and this is your... Now, let's take a look at this. This is Texas. This is Tyler right here, guys, and you are just to the east of this very dangerous line of storms if you're not being impacted right now. And it just continues again. Seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tornadoes. Warnings on the ground's very unusual, but this is the breakout season. Again, I mentioned that many tornado movies, the Twister series 1 and 2, where they talk about this time of the year. This is Shreveport, Louisiana. Texarkana is here, and this is moving up north. Let's pan just a little further. Now, this is Fayetteville right here. Here's Fort Smith. Here's Mena. Here's McAllister. And you can see coming across the line right here, this section, guys, is starting to develop. Where you're not seeing the tornadoes, you're getting this heavy rain. And then what would they say yesterday was we're looking at generational flooding, just like they talked about during the hurricanes, especially Helene, that did so much damage. But there's already, again, water rescues, people being pulled out by boats, people drowning, tornado victims that have lost their lives. This is nothing to play with. I want to back out and look at the nation for just a second. And in the red, is your tornado warnings. Your orange is severe thunderstorm warnings. You're starting to see that here. Your yellow areas are tornado watch areas. That includes North Mississippi, all of Arkansas, northwestern Louisiana, northeastern Texas, and the western section of Tennessee, coming up into Kentucky, and the southern tip of Illinois, right through here, guys, and Indiana. The flooding is going to be the long-term problem, but right now we got to make it through this line of very dangerous storms. Now here in central Mississippi, guys, we're getting these popcorn storms. It's just little isolated storms pulling straight off the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America, and pulling right up into this storm section. But this is the forecast. This is today's. Notice where the heavy weather is in the yellow and the red areas. Let's go to tomorrow and Saturday. More of Mississippi is, just about all of Mississippi is involved, guys. Moving into Alabama, all of Louisiana is involved. And then Sunday, it's starting to move a little further. All of Alabama, a good bit of Georgia is involved in this probably severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, things like that. Now, it's colder weather, mixed precipitation up north. And one of you guys mentioned that in the Northeast, you were looking at the second ice storm in a week. And here we are into April. So old man winter still hanging in there up north. And that's what's causing a lot of these clashes. It's trying to push into summer. And let's look at the current satellite image while we're here. Again, this is what I was saying. We've got all these little popcorn storms popping up. Pretty good rain for just a minute. Sun will come back out, but it's building up. That's why you're starting to see a little bit more action along the Gulf right here and this trail going over into northern Georgia. This is going to be moving, just like it said, tonight and into tomorrow, almost due east. And so this really heavy area of activity will be moving with that. Let's look at the infrared. And you can tell, again, here's basically the backbone of this entire system is right along this area. And guys, if you've noticed these, even though it's light storms that we're seeing here pop up, The wind has been very heavy for the last few days, and I think that's giving us an early warning of what we're about to go through this weekend. So make sure you're prepared for that. And we're starting to see a little more activity coming up here. This would be west of Memphis, Tennessee, and going into the Kentucky region here. But right along these areas, this is where we're seeing the problems right now. It's dry along the west coast. Again, we're talking about winter weather in some of these areas in the Northeast still. We're watching it, guys. If you don't live in those areas, but you have friends or family that do, you call them and make sure they're aware of the situation. If you're in the path of the storms, make sure you take proper cover now. Don't forget about your pets. It's a heads up, guys. Be safe.